Oh yes, so no one was nana. Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. The spirit of Biafra is upon me. That is why I am offering this song to our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. In Urobo dialect and Isoko. Lucky star is sinking, I'm sinking, Udogu, Emekpa. Amorotomo, Agbada Brururu. Amorotomo, Agbada Brururu. Excellency Simon Ekpa. Nieruwe yo, Bitrowe Salo. With the Sado, the freedom you brought you were for us. Urobisoko with the Sado. No. Amorutamo Agbada Guru. DM Simon Joe. You have done so much for us. I am shedding tears of joy. Your type cannot be seen easily. I search around the whole world, the greatest freedom fighter. We, the Robo and Isuku, we appreciate you also. Worry sister, say you are so good, you are so wonderful. Clara Dimu say you are so good. Oh, Amarutamo Agbada. Helen Peter say you are so good. That is the truth. Patricia Robo say you are so good. Amarutamo Agbada Guru. Urobisoko with the Sado. What a wonderful man. The good guy. It's only the fool that we hate him. And I know those who are sitting at the fence in this Biafra struggle, they will not learn. Maybe they will learn in the grave. Urobisoko with the Sado. The freedom you brought to do well for us. Worry sister say you are so good. Urobisoko with the Sado. Clara Dim say you are so good. Anna Wabada Guru. Amarotomo Agbada Guru. Amarotomo Agbada Guru. Urobisoko with the Sado. Urobisoko we throw a salute. Even lucky star, it is Sado. You do well, it is Sado. That you do well, we salute you, we throw a salute. Patricia Urobo say you are so good, you are so good. Amarotomo Agbada Guru. I am in tears of joy. For your good one cannot be quantified. Oh, Amorotomo Agbada Guru.
Those of you who are hardcore, those who were chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb were born. Do this very well. You must be very, very strong.
Maka nwere onwe ka anyị na-aga biko kulie n'oge ruo biko kulie ihe gamalike n'oge ruo o nwere ndị akpọrọ oku maka nwere onwe anyị o nwere ndị akpọrọ chekwa maka nwere onwe ụmụ Biafra biko kulie the spirit of Biafra, biko kulienu n'oge ruo. Nwere ndị Biafra jide ebube, biko bilienu n'oge ruo. Ọhamadike nọ na dungeon, unu ga-ekwe ka ihere mee ya Odike, mposi ike ruru achọba dike. Biko kulienu n'oge ruo. The Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government in exile, Master Simon M. It want to smooth to swing up and in New brother and down from my Ebudo. Oh, Guinea. Master Simon M. A mesu won't go where Onyendu. Ihe Gamadi Gero, Imapa Simon M. Ihe Gamadi Gero, Simon M. Atakatabo. We were running through in a tata. I will follow you, never look back. I will follow you. What Prime Minister we're running, and you got one who got I will follow you, and I will follow you. I will follow you. What's that on the back we're running? The question is this: if Nigerian government failed to organize referendum for children of Biafra, are you ready to lead us to do anything in order to get freedom from Biafra? And I'm going to be number one to follow you. If you are looking for 100 men, you will find 50 in me. Okwe Bucharangwe, Master Simon Epa, or Guinea. Master Simon Epa, Biko, GC, Kaka, Noku. Atakata kaina boki ojuda ueyi kwibolo nyendu kine mesata. I am 50 men, oh yes, and I said cross. I will follow you, never look back. I will follow you, for Christ we're running, and you got one who got I will follow you, and I will follow you. I will follow you. What's that on the Babylonian? Oh, Madike Biafra, Dahi Poro Gabiarole. Iye Gamadike, Biafra Republic Government Awukie. Iye Gamadike, Commander General Legitimizating. General Mutuso, Suna Atakata War. The Holy Ghost,
onye ndu kpọrọ bunu na satata biko kulie nuo oge ruo biko kulie ihe jama ike oge ruo biko kulie nuo ihe jama ike oge maka Biafra weropụtara anyị onye ndu ihe Simon Efa ọbatobiye.
Witness me, I want to remain in the spirit because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year we have not only atoned for our sins, we have sealed, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, oh Lord of hosts, to have mercy on us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist? You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoto. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. He said,
welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning program. I appreciate you and I welcome you wherever you are joining us from. If you are joining from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, whichever part of the world you are joining us on this program, I appreciate you. Thank you. If you are joining from Israel, Russia, China, you are welcome. We have come once again, as we always do on this program, to bring information to your doorstep. Remember, this platform where you are watching this program is a platform that is under the Biafra a platform under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In this very platform, we do not come here to instigate violence. We don't come here to preach hate. We do not come here to attack individuals. We do not come here to attack any race or religion. What we do here simply is to encourage Biafrans across the world and to encourage all the freedom fighters across the world. We encourage Biafrans to continue to hold on to their right to self-defense, their right to self-determination, and their right to life. And we debunk every lie they have told against us, against our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Supreme Commander of IPB. My fellow Biafrans, I appreciate everyone that has connected so far. And as always, it is an interactive session. Those of you who are watching out there, you can see a link that I posted on Facebook, on YouTube, not Facebook, You can follow that link and join me on stage. Make your contribution, bring in your arguments. Let us put it forward and let us understand each other and make things right. Nobody knows it all. You can learn from us and we can equally learn from you. Our purpose of being here is to share views and let the world understand what they don't know about us. Let the world have the time also to ask us questions while we respond. It's an opportunity also to make Biafrans understand where we are going and where we are heading. For those who have misunderstood us for a very long time, it's an opportunity for you to express yourself and say your views so that we can put records straight. I welcome everyone that has connected, and I say may Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect every one of us. As we are working towards our freedom, we will continue to fight more and do things the way it should be. As our freedom draws closer and nearer, every blessed day we see new ones coming out, new issues coming out. We see propagandas coming from right, left, and center. And we feel it is important that we handle these propagandas. Because when you don't respond to these issues, sometimes when they stay for long, they begin to look like the truth. That is why it is necessary that we always come online to put the record straight. Yesterday, our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, made a lot of explanation on the Twitter space. One of the good things about our Prime Minister is that he will break word into pieces for you to understand. If you do not understand the explanation of our Prime Minister, I bet you can never understand explanation from anybody else. If you can't get it the way he explains things, if you are still confused, you don't get it. It means your brain is completely empty and you will never ever understand from any other person. Because our Prime Minister breaks words into pieces. He doesn't speak in parable. He puts it forward to you the way you will get it raw. And that was what we saw yesterday, as always. Yesterday, he brought message to our food. He straightened so many things because it is necessary. As we are approaching very, very close to the restoration of the independence of Biafra, we can no longer afford certain things. And in time to come, there are certain things that must be done. As we are approaching the declaration of the restoration of Biafra, we know our enemies are not going to relax. They are equally increasing in all their attack, all their propaganda, and their blackmails. And we are prepared to face them head on. That is why we are starting on time. If you have watched our Prime Minister yesterday, you will understand that there is something ahead coming. Something is coming. But we, the Biafrans, we must have to get prepared and get ready. We must get prepared for us to be able to overcome what is coming. That thing that is coming will come. It does not matter whether you accept it or not. It doesn't matter whether you understand it or not. It is going to happen. But the beautiful thing about it is that we are prepared for whatever event that is going to come. As it unfolds, we are going to handle this properly. Our Prime Minister explained in detail yesterday the focus of Biafra and what to expect. We know that Biafrans have so many expectations. Our Biafran people have so many desires. In fact, it is the desire of every Biafran to wake up and discover that we are already out. It is our desire to see ourselves out of the zoo in any minute, in any second. That is our desire. But we are going to back those our desire with action. And it is action that will make our desire come true. So wherever you are watching me from, I urge you to stay strong and stand firm. The restoration of Biafra has entered top gear. On this top gear, there is no going back, and the speed will continue to increase by day. Because no matter what the enemy does, no matter their attack, propaganda, and blackmail, we shall overcome. No matter what they do, we will surely overcome. Where we are today is a very delicate stage, and there is no going back. We have gone very, very, very far. There's no going back. In fact, any attempt to go back is a suicide mission. So there's no going back. So anybody that thinks he or she is going to go back, you are doing that at your own risk, and you are going to face the consequence of your action. It is forward ever and backward never. As we approach the restoration declaration, as we draw close to December 2nd, the date for the declaration of the restoration of independence of Biafra, as we draw close to our convention in Finland, we must begin to prepare our mind. Begin to prepare your mind for things that are going to happen. Prepare your mind. Just as our Prime Minister has said yesterday, the two most important things that we must know is that in the action of the Biafran government, the delegitimization of the Nigerian government and the legitimization of Biafran government is on the top gear now. The legitimization of Biafran government is on top gear. And very soon, the message will be very clear. And the only man that has legitimacy to run the affairs of Biafrans and speak on their behalf is the Prime Minister of Biafra, Govt. It does not matter whether you like him or you don't like him. He has made it very clear. And this is a man who has devoted anything for us to make sure we get to where we are. Do not buy into the propaganda they will write against him. They are going to send propagandas, lots and lots of them, lies against him. But they will never succeed. It does not matter how they try, they will never succeed because he is fighting a just cause. And before we proceed, I want to remind you of that message our Prime Minister sent, an emergency one, for you to know where we are, where we are going, and where we will get to.
Good afternoon, fellow Biafrans all over the world. Today is 20th day of August 2024, and I am here speaking to you from my base in Finland. I want to inform every one of you because it has become very imperative as we approach December convention in Finland. You must know certain things. The declaration of the restoration of independence of Biafra that is to take place on the 2nd of December is targeted at achieving two objectives. One is the delegitimization of Nigeria. Two is the legitimization of Biafra. After the declaration, we are going to have a very long battle with Nigeria. But this battle, the good news is that we define how this battle will be fought. We will fight them diplomatically, we will fight them politically, we will fight them internationally, and of course, we will fight them locally. So, the 2nd of December is not after that. Some of you will come and say, oh, there is still military barracks, you are going to have them. But let me tell you, if the Vietnamese fought America for years and succeeded in making America to flee, we are ready to fight Nigeria even more than what Vietnamese did. And we dictate how this particular war will be fought. We are never going into conventional warfare with Nigeria. But the delegitimization will take a different tone. And what I'm trying to tell you people today is that you must be prepared for a very long years of battle for the legitimacy of Biafra government. It is not something that happened in one day. It is not something that happened immediately after our declaration on 2nd of December. But 2nd of December will mark the beginning of a very long battle, which we are going to show our determination with our actions and inactions. So my fellow Biafrans, all I'm here to tell you this afternoon is for you to understand that after the declaration on December 2nd, 2024, the battle begins. And we are not going to stop. If it is going to take us 20 years to fight Nigeria differently than what we did in the 67 and 70, we are ready for it. If it takes also 23 years for Taliban to defeat America and they left their land, we are ready to fight even 40 years. Since 1967 to 2024, Nigeria continued to fight us. The only thing is that we have not fought Nigeria until now. And in this fight, we are still defending ourselves. So 2nd of December will mark the beginning of the Biafra liberation. Do not expect something or any magic to happen. We will make the magic to happen. Thank you, and may God bless you.
My fellow Biafrans, I play this message because it is very raw. This message I played is just a summary of the broadcast and promise I made yesterday, where he elaborated on so many things. The restoration of Biafra is a fight that we must engage in. And the restoration of Biafra will officially start December 2nd. These informations are very important for you to understand and not get distracted. We are talking of establishing a country. For a very long year, we have been creating awareness. For so many years, we have been creating awareness. More than a decade. All the way from the IPOB establishment under Askunamazen Nandekan till his kidnapped, till date. We have been creating awareness online and offline. But in these 3 years of the kidnapping of Mazen Nandekan, the creation awareness have reached to the highest level. We have taken that awareness creation to the highest level. Today, the discussion of the restoration of Biafra have gotten to the highest level in the United States, in DC, through the lobbies employed by the government of Biafra. The government of Biafra have been able to take their case to the highest level in the United States. And lobbying is ongoing. We have created enough awareness, and now we enter into restoration. And the complete and absolute restoration of Biafra is going to commence from December 2nd, after the declaration of the restoration of independent state of Biafra. Then we are going to go further to defend our territory and again seek for recognition. It is very good that we know where we are headed, what to expect. That is why our Prime Minister takes time to break these things into pieces. So you will say you are not told. So you will not be distracted by some other idiots outside, those with empty brains. You won't be distracted with them. The Afonjas and the IPOB in Nigeria will not distract you. There are procedures and processes to get your freedom. So many of those procedures and processes our Prime Minister have explained in detail, giving us the example of Israel and Finland, how they arrived to where they are today. In our own case, we are even passing much more solid directions. So many things that have been put in place today by the government of Biafra, we are not being able to, we are not put in place by some world powers. You heard in the explanation of our Prime Minister that the state of Israel didn't even have a map before they made the declaration. They didn't have a map. But in our own case, every single thing that needs to be done has been done. And the effort of Biafran government have been appreciated by the diplomats abroad and the international community that have been formed. United States to be precise. Many people have been met to discuss Biafra. And in the discussion of Biafra of today, it is not like before when you sit online and talk. I have said it several occasions on my program that the world today acts based on evidence. The world that we live in today, they work based on evidence. When you are saying something, you show them what it looks like. When you are saying a word, you give them evidence to back up your words. And today, Biafran government has been able to build a formidable structure that can be presented in any international gathering and will be defended. And because of that today, so many people are willing to work with Biafra. The recognition of the state of Biafra is not going to be an easy job. Get that straight. We have to fight for it. We need to fight for it. We need to work for it. Just like other people work for it. When the story of Finland was told, you heard it very well, that before they got recognition, it took time. In fact, in so many places they approach, they have to verify them back to Russia. The same thing with the state of Israel. Their recognition took a gradual process. So you must prepare your mind for what is coming. But the beautiful thing among it all is that we, the Biafra people, we have much more upper hand than these countries that I mentioned. We have built more solid ground than these countries that I mentioned. We are much more prepared than these countries that I mentioned when they were doing theirs. The only thing we lack today is finance. Apart from finance, every other thing that we need have been put in place. Excess, we have met more than requirements to be a country. And you should be proud of yourself if you are a Biafran under the government of Biafra. You should be proud of yourself. We have done wonderfully well. December 2nd, we mark the beginning of the state of Biafra. And in case you didn't hear from our Prime Minister yesterday, he said it clearly. Even before the declaration, we have gotten recognitions. And after the declaration, recognitions are going to start coming. It is going to take time to get the full recognition. But after the declaration of independence state of Biafra, then and only then is when you are going to expect recognition, because no state is going to recognize you while you are still under this Zoological Republic called Nigeria. Nobody is going to recognize you while you are still under the zoo called Nigeria. But once you pull out of the zoo with evidence and credible self-referendum conducted, recognitions will begin to come. You know, I always say that the beauty of the restoration of Biafra is that every single thing is done legally. The Prime Minister is following every legal means to see that Biafra becomes a reality. Every legal means. On yesterday's program, our Prime Minister said that after the declaration of the restoration of Biafra, a formal letter will be sent to Asarok for them to recognize the self-referendum of Biafran people and the exit of Biafra. It will be formally sent, the letter will be formally sent to them so that they will say they didn't know. That is how the world works. You don't just sit back and assume that they know. Even though you know that they know, you have to provide evidence. Show that you have made a move. Our president have made it clear that after the declaration, it is not only sending a letter to Asarok for the recognition of our self-freedom and freedom. Letters will be sent to the AU, African Union. Letters will be sent to so many organizations, the EU, and other places where the zoo belong, to let them know that the Biafran government has come to stay. These letters will be sent across the board, including United Nations, and every of this letter is what is going to lead to the legitimacy of Biafran government. First of all, the mandate from the people is very important. And by the special grace of God, that mandate, which is the foundation of everything, foundation of the legitimacy of Biafran government, is that mandate. Today, we have gotten more than 50 million votes, still counting. More than 50 million and still counting. Those 50 million people who have entrusted their life, their faith, their well-being in the hand of Biafran government will not be disappointed. Those 50 million people who has handed over their destiny to Biafran government will not be left aside. The government will go to any length possible to make sure that they are protected, to make sure their voice is heard, to make sure that their demand is respected. My fellow Biafrans and the people of the world that is watching, we have gotten to the real deal, and it's going to kick off 2nd of December 2024. After the declaration of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, every other thing is going to follow. The defense of Biafra land will commence in full force. Because after then, when the self-referendum have been officially announced, the final result, we are going to take the result and submit to all the necessary bodies. It will be submitted even to Nigerian government as well, that the Biafran people want out, since they pretend not to know it. It will be communicated to them through official documents. Then it is left for them to either recognize the self-referendum of the Biafran people and allow Biafrans to go, or they will come to force us to be in the zoo, which is the option they will always choose. We have always known the zoo to apply force in everything. The option of force is the one they always embrace at any given protocol, at really every given point in time. But this time around, we are prepared because we know the Pharaoh we are dealing with. We are more than prepared. My fellow Biafrans that are watching, wherever you are watching from, we must remain strong and focused. Pay attention to direction where you are supposed to go. We have passed through a lot in the Zoological Republic, and it is time for us to get it right. It is time for us to get it right. My fellow Biafrans that are watching, I urge every one of you to please begin to prepare yourself for what is coming. Get prepared. Do not wait for somebody to come and wake you up. Get prepared. With all the explanation made by our Prime Minister, you now know what to expect. And as we speak, Biafra has already gotten recognition from an African country. An African country have already recognized Biafra, which our Prime Minister has said that the name will be reviewed in due time. You don't have to be surprised. Many countries of the world are going to recognize Biafra without thinking twice. Yes, they will. Biafra is going to win recognition faster than you can ever imagine. So don't be scared, don't shake. Do not be scared. We know that they're going to fight, they're going to bribe, they're going to do everything possible to see that we don't get recognition. But don't worry. Just be doing what you know you how to do best. Play your own part and allow the government of Biafra and Chukwu Okike to take us to our promised land. They will try to set all they can. They will try to put in place all strategies to hold themselves. But I bet you, they will never ever succeed. I appreciate everyone that has stood on their ground up to this time. If you have stood your ground up to this time, I appreciate you. The battle we are fighting is heavy. The battle we are fighting is not a childish one. And we must have to win. It does not matter how, we need to win the battle. Yes, we need to win the battle. And we are going to win. I appreciate every one of you that has connected in one way or the other. And as I go forward, while you prepare your mind for what is coming, remember that freedom is not cheap. It is not given out, it's taken. And we are out to take our freedom. We have passed through a very difficult path in the past. But I bet you this time we are prepared. 1967, we are taken unaware. Never again. Never again. I say never again. Let us watch this clip that shows us a little bit of what transpired within the time of the Civil War.
The government's refusal to recognize Biafran currency left many people literally penniless. Now it has relented and given just 20 Nigerian pounds to anyone handing in 20 pounds or more in Biafran notes. But even this put less than 5 million pounds into circulation. Although life is still a struggle for many people, the Igbo's traditional drive and initiative is evident everywhere. The energy and high spirits are not confined to the fit and well. Two and a half years of hostilities took an enormously heavy toll of dead and wounded on both sides. But with the battle won, federal troops tend the wounds of those they once fought. Ex-Biafrans who are further along the road to recovery get lessons in basket weaving. The patients have at least one piece of good fortune in that there's no shortage of food in military hospitals like this. Most of the victims of the war were not military but civilian, and they were killed not by bullets but by starvation. It's not known exactly how many civilians died, but many estimates put the figure as high as 2 million. According to some reports, as many as 50,000 people may have died of starvation since the war ended. The task of dealing with them and all other victims of the war has now been shouldered by the Lagos government, whose Rehabilitation Commission took over from the Nigerian Red Cross in July. This doesn't mean, of course, that the Red Cross has disappeared from the scene. In Enugu, for example, it uses the premises of the Cheshire Home to care for war orphans. Outside Enugu, it's reported, there are isolated country areas where starvation is as bad as it ever was during the war. But in this home, at least, these particular victims of the war have found all they need for the moment of food, medical attention and love. The young and the injured are not, of course, the only problems the Rehabilitation Commission has to face. There are, for example, vast numbers of unemployed. Many of them are Igbos who left well-paid jobs in other parts of the Federation. The situation's been made worse by the evident unwillingness of the neighbouring southeastern and rivers states to accept Igbos in responsible positions. Both areas were originally claimed by the Igbos as part of Biafran territory. The overall problems of reconstruction are enormous. After 8 months of peace, communications are still disrupted, and both agriculture and industry are struggling to find their feet. Fortunately, the one thing the Igbos of East Central State don't lack is brains. The Igbos have always considered themselves better educated, if not more intelligent, than many of their fellow Nigerians. Whether true or not, the claim is now a useful spur to the Igbos to overcome the disruption caused by the war. Many school buildings were wrecked or severely damaged in federal air attacks, and classes are still being held in the open air. Most schools in East Central are run by the churches or other voluntary bodies who are now helping with relief payments to pupils in need. Under normal circumstances, however, schooling has to be paid for, and many parents would like to see the state's temporary control over the schools made permanent. On the whole, there's surprisingly little bitterness now that the war is over. In spite of their sufferings, most people are philosophical, even optimistic. Having fought and lost the struggle for national identity, the Igbos have no alternative but to face the future as Nigerians and to do the best they can to forget the past.
My fellow Biafrans, these are the difficult road we have passed before. We have passed through that difficult road and we were able to make it to where we are today. And I bet you that every Biafran must be prepared for what is coming. But in this year, 2024, in this generation, it is going to be a very different ballgame. The very first time they came, they took us unaware. But this time we are prepared to take our destiny into our own hands. That is why you must not look back. You must not pay attention to any propaganda or blackmail. The direction of our freedom is very clear. The restoration journey has just begun. For those of us who are having doubt in their mind, who are confused, I believe by now it is getting much more clearer than ever. If you are a Biafran at this stage, you still pretend not to know what is going on. You are your own. And you are going to face the consequence of your ignorance. As it is said, ignorance is not an excuse. The only thing you are to do today is to think of how to defend your land. How to provide means for the defense of the Biafran territory. Finance is needed. If our land must be protected and safe, we need finance to do so. You can't do that empty-handed. And you and I know that the zoo will never go without a fight. The Zoological Republic will not go without a fight. But the beautiful thing today is that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, Master Simon Ekpa, is more than ready to give it to them as much as they require. And in the fight of today, it is going to be done based on our own terms. We are going to decide where, how, and where it will be fought. It is not going to be like the same thing you have seen in the past. we are going to do everything humanly possible to see that our freedom is sealed and signed. It does not matter what the enemies are saying. They can continue to push their propaganda and blackmail for all I care. The beautiful thing today is that you and I know where we're going. You and I know what we want. And we have seen the roadmap to the freedom we so much desire. Our desire as Biafrans is to be free. Have that freedom to decide our fate. The freedom to live in a secure land. The freedom to live under good economy. The freedom to grow in our space and at our own speed. No man born of a woman will deny us that freedom. We are freeborn, and that freeborn we will remain. It does not matter what you think about us, whether you support the restoration of Biafra or you don't. It will not stop Biafra from coming. The mandate has already been given. 50 million plus, still counting. Is not a joke. And there is no organization in the world, no country in the world will see such kind of response in a self-referendum and be silent. That is why today Biafra government is making wave across the world. Biafra government is going to the highest length to create awareness in DC as we speak. Every one of us that is in this government, you must be proud of yourself. During our convention, November, December, after the official announcement of the result, the declaration of the restoration of independence state of Biafra will be made on the 2nd. From then onwards, it will be a different ballgame. In the pursuit of recognition. Recognition is not going to come easy. The zoo will not accept it easy either. But we are going to pass through that stage and we'll come out victorious. There's no doubt whatsoever because we have done a lot of work already. So my fellow Biafrans, prepare yourself. Get yourself equipped with everything you can. Most importantly, support the Liberation Army of Biafra financially for us to be able to overcome what is coming ahead of us. My beloved brother Maxwell, I can see you. You're welcome. If you're there, my beloved brother Maxwell, please go on and speak to Biafrans. I can see my beloved brother Maxwell there. Are you there? If you're there, my beloved brother Maxwell, unmute yourself and speak to Biafrans.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Master Chicks.
You're welcome,
as it is, thank you, sir. As it is in our tradition, I must say, may God bless you, my great Namoche, your family and everything that you represent. May God bless the Biafran people, especially those in my mother's ancestral land, the homeland Biafra. And those of you that are working so tirelessly to make sure that our aspiration is fulfilled in this time. What our ancestors, our fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers, tried to do, but it seemed that God's time wasn't at that particular time for them to achieve it. I believe that He is going to give us the strength to achieve it now so that we will not allow our children unborn to come out and cry the way we are crying today. And I believe that Chukwu Kikabiyama will listen to us and grant us Biafra. The freedom of Biafra is the freedom of every black person on earth. Every dark skin covered with the melanin. How do they call it? This melanin, melaninian or something like that. Forgive me. English is not my mother's tongue. If it is my own mother's tongue, I can speak it fluently. So don't kill me if I did not pronounce it. That's a lizard's language. So whether your skin is covered with melanin or not, especially the children of light, the dark-skinned people whose skin looks like the humus, the soil. That is what God used to create us. He said, unto sound that cometh, unto soil that cometh, unto soil that goeth. And when you look at the color of the soil, you see yourself there. You are the firstborn of God, the creator of heaven and earth. And that is how I see it myself. I don't know how any other person says it. We must restore Biafra, which is going to liberate every dark-skinned person on this earth. Across our people, across the Mediterranean, across the Atlantic, across the Caribbean Sea, where our people were taken into slavery by the colonial imperialist agents. The restoration of Biafra is going to relieve them, that will allow them to breathe that sigh of relief that yes, God has remembered them. And the reunification of every dark-skinned person, whether in the Caribbean, whether in the oceanic island, and so on and so forth, will be as a result of Biafra. The dark race, Africans died the day Biafra was cornered by Nigeria and their allies, knowing fully well that Biafra will not die. They tried to remove everything removable, everything that has to do with Biafra, including the map and the bite of Biafra. They removed it. I listened to one they call it Mure Bruce or something like a renowned journalist in Nigeria that asked them this question: why did you remove the bite of Biafra? The answer they got, and the answer they gave him will marvel you. That they believe that if they don't remove it, they feel that Biafra will come back again. Therefore, they must remove it. Even after removing it, did it cause us to stop? Never, because it is something that is ingrained. It is in our soul. The soul of every black man is Biafra. So if we are going to fight it just like you said, if we are going to get it just like you said, unless Chukwu Okike Abiyama say we will not put up a fight. Even now, are we not being killed? By asking to leave, we are being killed. So which other war are you expecting to see apart from the one that they are fighting us now? We are being fight. We are being taken down because we ask to, we request, we ask them that we tell them that we don't want to belong. We cannot continue in a contraption that doesn't want to see us, show the ingenuity and the inventiveness of a Biafran God has given to you. No matter what we do, we are in a difficult time now. Remember, if you want to get once you allow monkey to take your apple, brother Chooks, the only way to there are only two ways to get it from it. Either you get it by trying to appease the monkey, which is impossible, or you kill the monkey and take the remaining part that the monkey has bitten and fix it and clean it and see if you can still eat it. That is how this fight for freedom and restoration of Biafra is. We are under occupation. Our land is under occupation. But we are going to remove it just like a farmer pull out a big tree in his farm. And that is what we are doing. I'm trying to speak in an idiomatic way. Just like the farmer removes the big tree in his farm by cutting it little by little, little by little. Have you ever seen where a hyena is attacking a lion? It is bite by bite, bite by bite, bite by bite. They don't go all out to attack a lion, otherwise that hyena will be dead. Follow the principles and the strategies, the laid down procedures as being set out there by the Prime Minister and his cabinet members. That is a sure way to get to where we are going to. And I believe that at the end, after everything at the end, we will be happy because Biafra has been restored. The enemy that has been there with us will be chased out of the land. The dignity of the Biafran people will be restored. The life of every Biafran people will be restored. Your worth as God has given to you naturally will be restored to you. The ingenuity and the inventiveness of God's spirit God has given to you will be restored. You will have every time to do whatever that you want to do without nobody coercing you otherwise. That is what I pray and that is what I see. We need our support. Biafrans in the homeland that are bearing the brunt on daily basis need your support. Those of us in the diaspora, those of us away from the homeland, they need your support. No matter how small, I will continue to preach this. If you cannot support through cash, come out and do whatever that you can do that can give us Biafra. Thank you so much, and may God continue to bless you as we move on. The enemy we see today, we will not see them anymore in the name of our Chukwu Kikapiam. Thank you so much, my brother, and I will be here listening. If there is any other thing that I'm going to speak on, I will also come in. Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. I appreciate you for that amazing and wonderful contribution. That is just what we are saying. The same thing is what we are saying. We are getting into the very main deal of the day. The very main deal of the day. Every Biafran must have to put their mind in place today because of the increase in propaganda. The only instrument that the zoo has today is propaganda. But I believe that their propaganda is not working for Biafra. It is only going to work for those one Nigerianists who have decided to blindfold themselves because of their hatred for Biafra. I see many of them online on different platforms. Because of their individual hatred for Biafrans, they have refused to accept the reality of the day and the truth. They have refused to embrace the truth even when they see it. And all they do is to promote propaganda against us. But who cares? We are watching and we are following up. And I thank you for the steps our Prime Minister have taken so far. Go on, my beloved brother.
To support what you just said, man, the truth. Propaganda is a vital tool in warfare. I don't know whether it was here that I said it the last time. One of the strategies of every war or in a warfare is propaganda. This propaganda has been preached, has been carried out on the people of Biafra even before independence.
Absolutely.
Biafran people have been demonized even before independence. A majority of the Biafran people have been buyed several times before independence. And they will never stop until we are freed from that contraption that is holding us. What do we do with this propaganda? The only thing we need to do is to counter them with our own propaganda and truth. Truth. The main thing that we are going to use to demolish said before his unfortunate kidnap. Truth. No matter how the propaganda is, propaganda are lies fabricated in order to win or get into the heart of your enemy. Saying things that you are not is just like audio yes. Money, audio lifestyle. That is propaganda. You see, we have been experiencing it for a long time. I believe by now we should be, acquainted with that system of warfare called propaganda. So do not be discouraged. When they told you that Simon Ekpa has run away to Venezuela, that is propaganda. That is propaganda right there with you. I spoke to what appear in his platform. I don't want to mention his name to join him, but I think for the going to 1 year now, I've not gone to his platform, because when you look at the beginning of his platform, it brings things that will, encourage every Biafran to participate, to go in. But in the long run, that's right in there. That was the platform I told you that a typical Biafran of Igbo descent called Igbos criminal, and they were clapping for him. No, he was the one that told me. He sent me this. He said, "Oh, Vi, look at Simon Ekpa is on the road." I laughed. I will send you the screenshots of the reply I gave to him. I laughed. I said, "On the run to where?" He said, "Venezuela." I said, "Oh, he's running with your parents, right?"
And the shameful thing is that they don't even take time to verify. They don't give a second to verify if what they are saying is right. The person you are talking about is 247 online. You know he will respond. In the next few minutes, he's going to respond. And they still have the cost.
He said, I said, "Oh, he's running away with your parents, right?" Okay. I went to I was not that in it didn't even shake me anyway, because I believe that even if Finland will be that lawless or encourage abuse of human rights, it won't be today. It will not start just like that. Never. I went to his Twitter handle. I went and saw where he was jogging. He called them smelling afanjas. My brother, I shared it to him. I say, "Look at the man, and this is how low you people can become." But you are in the UK.
Very low, very low.
A very developed country with human rights and everything, with information at the tip of your fingers. This is how low you can become. I don't know what could have happened if you were in Nigeria. If you are in that zoo, you could be worse, 3 times or quadruple of what you are just, behaving while you are in the country. So I said to him, I laughed. Yeah, well, Okpana, here we call somebody who is there. Okpana. Okpana was jogging and laughing, making jest of them. And the last sentence he made was for the stupid smelling afonjas. Now I told this guy, say that is the reason why people like you is the reason why he is calling you people smelling afonjas. You will not, these are propaganda. Anybody that hates you, that doesn't like what you are doing, will come up with a propaganda in order to put fear or some sort of minds of people that are following you. It causes a lot of damage in your struggle. Propaganda. And that is what these people are using their agents, their eras to do. Yeah. And we are here to contend them and to debunk their lies. Absolutely. That is what I want to chip in. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. You just nailed it. That is how low they can go. And this propaganda is the only instrument they can always lay hand upon. And the funny thing is that they don't look for a reasonable one. At least you look for a propaganda that can last for 24 hours. They will push a propaganda that cannot even last up to 2 hours. Our Prime Minister has the information 247, he's always online. And once you say those nonsense, he's coming out to debunk them. That is why you see every single thing that the Biafrans are suffering today is because of the propaganda that has been pushed right with the British. The British started this very propaganda and they handed it over to the Caliphate. The Caliphate tried to indoctrinate every other person. When you saw Ahmadu Bello, when he was interviewed, Ahmadu Bello mentioned, and the person that interviewed him asked him, why are you so obsessed with these Biafran people, the Igbos to be precise? Why are you so obsessed with them? He couldn't mention any crime we have committed. He couldn't mention anything we have done wrong. The only thing he could say is that we are domineering. How? That when you put us in a labor camp, we will emerge to be a hero. That is why he's angry. That is why he doesn't want us to succeed. And they continue to put this. Finally, they now realize that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, through his type of message, have been able to decimate all this propaganda. They were buried, dead and buried, and unity returned in the southeast. Unity returned in the old southeast. Even Mazen Nnamdi Kanu extended to the Afonjas, extended to the Middle Belt, extended to everywhere. And they begin to see the reality of a Biafran. Do you see what they are doing now? Before they wake up, it was too late. After the kidnapping of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they are now going back to that same propaganda. If you go to TikTok, go to Facebook, go to their platforms, what they are now pushing now is a propaganda that cannot be substantiated against the Biafrans again. They came out and tell you that it was the Biafrans that planned the protest. The protest that we came out, we said that we are not part of the protest. Even the politicians said it. Even the politicians who are Biafran have said it. They are not part of it. But they pushed that propaganda. The northern leaders came together and issued a statement that it is the Biafran people, the Igbos to preside, are the ones that are sponsoring the protest in order to push the north against the southwest. The same propaganda they started a long time ago. But the difference this time now is that we have the social media on our control. You know, then we didn't have information. Then they just seized the communication system. They seized everything. It's only I don't care. But this time around, how many people are watching your television? How many people are watching your conventional media and international media? The main people you want to convince are on social media. And the Biafran people, we are in charge. Nobody can take it away from us. So whenever they try to push their propaganda, it doesn't fly. You go to some platform now, the next one you see that you see some people gather, they call themselves from Edo State, and all they will be pushing is lies. Lies they can even. Sometimes when I come across those, I will watch. their own fellow brother will come there and ask them a question that regards to the lie they are telling. They can't even substantiate. You know, before they just push the lies. Their traditional rulers, their emirs, and those people they bow to, they will push the lies and they will carry it and run. But this time, the youth of this century will question every single thing you say. They will question it. So none of those propaganda can stand. Go ahead, my beloved brother.
You see, what struck me so hard, straight into my heart, and my soul was when an elder statesman in those days in the 60s was granting an interview to a British journalist. No matter where that man is now, I believe and I am sure that he is not at rest. Let Ahmed Bello. The obsession you have, an average northerner has, or a Biafran, an Igbo man, Igbo speaking Biafran. He didn't hide it. He just explained it just like the way they feel about an Igbo speaking Biafran. They know they hide that. And it's as if that God uses those. God uses their wickedness, their hate against an Igbo speaking Biafran to punish them at the end of it all.
Absolutely.
Igbo man is so domineering. Let's define what is domineering. Are Igbo people domineering? If I come to your village, your state, with my bag and my money to start a business, and we negotiate on a store, I rent your store, is that domineering? I pay you the equivalent of your rent in cash for a stipulated time or period. Is that domineering? If I negotiate for a plot of land, a piece, a parcel of land, and we negotiate, we arrive at a consensus on the price, and I pay you, you do my papers for me, is that domineering?
They share hard work.
What does this, what do they understand by being domineering? I believe in my own ways, someone who is domineering is someone who comes, the use of force. The use of force.
Absolutely.
Force. If you want to dominate a certain people and they don't like it, they will resist you and there will be force. When you willingly sell a parcel of land for me to build and start from the scratch, is that force?
It is not.
So why are they preaching force, domineering? The man said he openly answered himself in that stupid argument.
He did.
An Igbo man is the kind of man who is domineering. When you put him in a labor camp, within 1 year, he will struggle. How did he struggle? Did he kill anybody?
And that is the domineering he's talking about.
Did he kill anybody?
No.
Did he use force? It is his own intellectual ability, the technicality, and what God has given to him, his struggle. An average Igbo-speaking Biafran would never stay at one place, because that, this proverb explains the spirit of an average Igbo-speaking Biafran. To stay on the top of a palm tree and be sighting for other ripe palm fruits. Is it not so? Ndị Igbo si na anọ na nkwụ enwe nkwụ. When you climb, to cut off, to harvest a palm fruit, while you're on top there, you will be there looking, sighting, looking for ones that are ripe too. So they will always stay on one and be looking at other people. That is spreading their tentacles. They want to expand. Igbo people has this spirit of expansion. They want to expand, and they are not expanding to the detriment or to the death of their host. Their own is to do. Is that domineering? You see, God has a way of exposing them, and God will continue to expose them as long as they have chosen to gang against the innocent people, Mazichus. The entire Biafrans that are listening to me today, when you see these ill comments, when you see this propaganda coming out from these quarters, know it that their fall is imminent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. You just said it, and that is what it is. It is what it is. So every Biafran must be at alert. They are not going to stop. Why I always talk about this issue of propaganda is that that is the only weapon they have. And that is what they are using to galvanize other regions against Biafran region. That is the only weapon they have. They use it for the Middle Belt, and it worked for them in 1967. It was that propaganda they used for Middle Belt. Finally today, Middle Belt have realized that it was all a ploy to use them and dump them. Today, Middle Belt has been a conquered area. They have cried and cried and cried. They lost tears, and nobody is coming to their aid. The same people they fought for. The same people they fought for. Because of this same propaganda, that is why the Middle Belt fall into their hand, and they use them to fight Biafra. But it cannot happen anymore. It cannot happen anymore. Today, the Biafrans are taking up the challenge. They are taking up the challenge, trying to revive that propaganda again. A propaganda that is dead and buried. You cannot propaganda, it cannot fly. Even to a Yoruba man, a true Yoruba man knows that you are lying, and he wouldn't buy it. It has gone to the extent that even today you will see somebody from Oduduwa land fighting a fellow Yoruba man simply because he looks like a Biafra. You saw it happen in the time of election. During the time of election, Yoruba people were beaten up simply because they are looking clean like the Biafra people. They see you, you are hardworking, you are looking fresh, they're telling you a Biafra, and they go after you. And this is how can you see all this? That the only way you identify the people you hate is because they are successful. The only way you identify these people from the Biafra that hate is because they are successful. They are looking good. They don't cry much. They are hardworking. How can you hate success and you expect success to come and beat you? When you are holding somebody on the ground, there is no way you can stand except that person on the ground stands. Even the person that is on the ground is more relaxed than you, because you are exerting more energy to put that person on the ground. While the person is relaxing, whenever you leave that person and you stand up, the person will stand up. And when you look at them, they think they are doing this against Biafra. And that is why you see the Biafran people are much more successful than they can ever be. Even after taking everything away in 1967 and giving them 20 pounds. Today, the economy of the country is still in their hand. You have the presidency. You have the president. You have the resources. You are in control of the oil. Everywhere it is you, it is you. And still, yes, in your own area is where the insecurity is much. It is where the hunger is much. And yet, you don't want to learn your lesson. And as for the Afonjas in Biafran territory, we still have some Afonjas. We still have some instruments of oppression in our own land. There are some people who have already given themselves their soul. As for those ones, their own time and days are numbered. Just like the idiot Mba. The idiot Mba who is taking the life of Biafrans. Recently, went and took the life of 27 able men. And he said that those are the members of Biafran Liberation Army. Biafran Liberation Army did not lose any single soul. We didn't lose any soldier, not even one. But Mba went and took the life of 27 men. 27 men, and he was able to come and announce to their media that these are the men that are following Master Simon Eba, members of Liberation Army. even when our camp is intact and nobody is lost. We are not scared to take responsibility. If we lose a soldier, we will speak about it. We cannot deny any soldier, any Biafran soldier. We will never deny them. And our prime minister will never deny any single soldier, no matter under which circumstances he died. But these people are taking the life of innocent Biafran. 27 able men, and he came on media to announce. He came on media to announce that they took the life of 27 men who are working with Master Simon Ekpa. Under which circumstances? Under what did they do? These people, what did they do to you? Innocent people. Innocent people who has nothing to do with the Liberation Army. Innocent Biafrans, you took their life and you came to the public and announced it. They didn't even give them any chance to speak on their own. It's just like the video our prophets have posted. Every one of us saw when they shared a video of the people they called kidnappers. Those who they called kidnappers, they called the kidnappers in Lagos State, and they said they came from Southeast, and majority of them were Igbos. They were shot at a spot. None of them survived. But we just saw a recent video where they captured the same gang of kidnappers. They are about 5 or 6 of them, and none of them was killed from the Southwest. The same gang. How can you be operating different law for different people on a certain place? We don't support any evil. If you are a kidnapper and you are caught, you go for it. But with the same hand you used to treat one person, use it to treat every other person. Why are you running different standards, using different laws for different people in a country that's supposed to be one? Go ahead, my beloved brother.
Mazi Chiefs, there is no law on this earth that warrants extrajudicial killing of anybody, even if that person is accused of murdering a fellow human being.
My brother.
That is to tell you the level at which. That is to tell you the level at which the system, the corrupt system, the zoo practices has gone to. I mean, that is to tell you the level it has gone. There is no known law, unless maybe you are practicing Sharia system of government. In conventional law, constitution, way of life of the people, there is no place that extrajudicial killing is accepted.
No.
Do it.
Not at all.
Look, the reason why I am so much eager to see Biafra come, so that the laws and our Biafran interaction with the diplomatic level, diplomatic level, will be high. The sovereignty of Biafra will be high, is for people, the perpetrators of these extrajudicial killings in Biafra land, to be prosecuted. That is the reason why I am asking. I am just praying to God Almighty to allow Biafra to gain their sovereignty, so that Biafra will have the power as a sovereign nation to exert their own force in the realms of the international community.
Absolutely.
These people that have murdered our brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, burn their houses because they are chasing the BLA, or they are chasing the unknown government that they also, prepared and produced by themselves in their political factories, will be prosecuted. That is what I am praying for. Because I don't see the reason why you will just go capture people and extrajudicial and sentence them to death without trial, without due process. Am I surprised Biafrans, are you surprised if Nigeria, the zoo, will go to UK to create Umaru Dikko illegally to transport him back to Nigeria? What do you think that they will do to us? If the same corrupt Nigerian system will go to Kenya with the help of their collaborators and kidnap Mazen Namdekan without due process, do you think, what do you think that they will do to us? If they have succeeded against Sunday Igboho in Benin Republic, the same thing that they wanted to do to Sunday Igboho, but when they got there, they met the brick wall. They couldn't, and they lost. If they had their way, just like in Kenya, they could have taken Sunday Igboho from there too, and bring him to Nigeria and begin to deal with him the way they are dealing with my leader Mazen Namdekan. That is what they are known to do. That is what they are known for. So don't be surprised. And the reason why we are fighting is to right all these wrongs, to bring succor where it is needed. Although we don't have the power to restore life that has been taken by these evil people, but we have to show them that there is a country that recognizes that their people were extrajudicially fired, and those perpetrators, are brought to book.
Absolutely.
That will be the happiness. That will be the only thing that will show to their, the bereaved families that Biafra is up to something and can do it. And that is the reason why I pray for the coming of Biafra. And it must not waste time. No matter how long God has kept it away from us, because of all the loss of lives that we are encountering today, the innocent people, not even the belligerent ones, not even the fighters, the innocent men and women, children. I pray that God will give us Biafra. Give us Biafra right now. Give us Biafra, so that we will right these wrongs and take action. Even the Izu River, our people that were floated on that river, the perpetrators, as long as they are alive when Biafra come, will answer to it. The Oyibo, Ami Igbo killings, the perpetrators will be made to answer for the crime, the heinous crime they committed against the Biafran people. And that is the reason why we must intensify our effort, intensify it today in the morning, in the afternoon, and evening to make sure that people are protected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. I appreciate you for that amazing contribution. And finally, before we leave, I would like to speak more on one very important issue that I felt that we should touch. This has to do with those Biafrans who have invested a lot in the Zoological Republic, and because of that, they are scared. And again, when you look on what is happening in the issue of propaganda, some of these idiots, out of their envy and jealousy, some of them think that this is 1967. They are still hoping on abundant property, that Biafrans will abandon their property and they will occupy it. That is the hope of most of them. And that is why they are fighting and telling Biafrans, go, 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 go. And I want to tell every Biafran that is watching this program today that we will not have any abandoned property in that Zoological Republic. We will not. In case you don't understand, there are some international laws that guide everything you do in this planet Earth. We were not able to ascertain and get our rights before because of the fact that we are in the zoo, but not anymore. When Biafra regain their sovereignty, there is nothing on the planet Earth that will make us to lose anything to the zoo. And I want to give people an example of what has just transpired. If a company, a foreign company, in all the way China, could be able to retrieve their money from the zoo, if a foreign company, not a country, not a company, could be able to seize their property and retrieve their money. You don't know how far Biafrans can go. A country, Biafra, can go to retrieve every single penny, every single investment you make in the zoo. The only thing you have to do is to make sure that you have legal documents backing up every single property you have in the zoo. Have a legal document backing up every single thing you have in the zoo. There will not be any abandoned property. Not again. Never again. It will never, ever happen. Let them continue to wish. Don't be afraid. If that is why you are not supporting Biafra, go and support the best way you can. Just as I think what it yesterday or the day before yesterday, I saw a video where a Biafran man, by him also destroying a building that he built in Lagos State, he destroyed it and brought it down. He placed the building for sale. There was nobody that could be able to give money to buy. The only people who were coming to buy it were the same Igbo people, his own brothers. And he said, instead of him to hand over this pen to his brother, he would bring the house down. And he brought the house down and leveled it to the ground. And the whole street was watching. If you are investing or you have invested in the zoo and you are scared, and that is why you are not supporting Biafra, that is why you are standing on the fence, fear not. You are not going to lose any pain. You are not going to lose any pain. And I want you to borrow leave for what just transpired. If a company could seize the property of the zoo, a company, you can't imagine what Biafra will do. The only why they are surviving today is because we are dealing with their laws. We are still under them. We are still in Nigeria. When we begin to run our things on our own country, as a country, we will go after any single soul or anything we have in that zoo. We are going to retrieve it. Not a penny. Just like Martin Alex kind of said, we will not leave an inch of our land for them. In the same way, our property will not leave any single one for them. Go ahead, my beloved brother, and speak on this issue before we round up.
Yes, in rounding up, I would like to say this in support of what you just said now. I had the opportunity to be to participate in the United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Yugoslavia. And when you look at the Yugoslavian Republic as it is in that time, they call them the Yugoslavian Republic. Today, they are no longer Yugoslavian Republic. When they were together, you have the Serbs, the Crimeans, Serbians, who are the dominant in the Bosnia-Herzegovina now. Most of them has their former capital was Zagreb. Their former capital was, I think, was Zagreb. So there are different Yugoslavian nationalities that settled in that capital today. Today you have Croatians, you have Slovenians, you have Slovakia, you have which other one? There are so many of them that are now, I think Kosovo is there too, that are now separate entities, separate states of their own. And I have never heard that a Serbian or a Serbian that has property in Croatia, which is Belgrade now. Belgrade, I think Croatia is Belgrade now. Will be taken away simply because he is a Bosnian now. He is in Bosnia Republic. I have never seen in a place where a Croatian who have property in Belgrade, former Yugoslavian Republic, headquarters, capital, will lose his or her property simply because he is a Croatian. He's in Croatian Republic today. So this falsehood, these people, look, there is what they call International Court of Arbitration.
Absolutely.
That is where you take your matter to. Remember, the judgment debt Nigeria is paying today in eBay, there is a two property that has been set out there. I think they say it's about for sale in eBay. Yeah. Okay. Who did it? Is a company against a state under the control of the Federal Republic. A state, oh, for those of them that will say, this is our state, and whatever you do internationally, it is going to affect you in that particular state that you are. Nigeria is paying the price now because it was a state, and there is no way a state will sign an international loan agreement without the support of the country, which is Nigeria. So if you think that you are going to confiscate the property of the Biafrans, what Remi Tinubu said, Igbos, we know, we don't trust you. We know, we don't trust you. We are going to inherit you. There was something that woman wanted to say that he didn't say. And that is exactly what these people are saying now. She made this comment that they are going to inherit the properties, the investment of the Igbos in Lagos. That is what they are coming out now fully with. Therefore, I would like to tell her, or the likes of her, that they are joking. They are joking. We will stop at nothing. We will stop at nothing. In order to collect what belongs to Biafrans. Even if we would take, if you take anything that belongs to Biafrans, is an act of war. It's a declaration of war, and you will take it. We will cook it for you, and you will take it. You will take it. They dare not do it. They dare not do it, because even if they go about destroying them, the investigation will be carried out. And if it is proven that it is an act of sabotage, and then they will pay for it. Sometimes they devise means. If they want to take anything that belongs to you, you sold the land, you sold your land, and they develop it. You use the proceeds of the land they gave to you to go and do all one bit. Eat fat more and a wedu soup and so on and so forth. Today, you are telling them to go. You want to take over that place. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Those things will not happen. The court of arbitration, International Court of Arbitration, will solve those matters. Let them just begin to wallow in their ignorance, and we are looking at them and laughing. My brother, I say, may God bless you. May God continue to protect you. May God protect Biafrans in the homeland and the diaspora. May God protect Mazen Nnamdi Kanu wherever he is. May God protect the Prime Minister and his kitchen cabinet members. May God protect and bless and guide the Finnish government and the great Finnish people, that they may not succumb to the pressure that is being mounted on them because of the rest of the globalist interest in the zoo. May God give them the strength to stand tall and defend what is right. May God bless the Finnish people today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you so much, and God bless you too.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for that amazing support. May Chukwu Okike continue to guide you, protect you, and secure you. Thank you so much, my beloved brother. My fellow Biafrans, we have come to the end of the program today, and I appreciate everyone that have contributed in one way or the other. May Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect you. I want you to remember that today we are moving on to the real deal. The delegitimization of Nigerian government in Biafra territory and the legitimization of Biafran government. That is where we are heading to. And in that legitimization of Biafran government, we are going to do extraordinary things. We are going to defend our territory. We are going to do everything humanly possible to draw the attention of the world. Already, recognition is coming, but we need to do more. In the delegitimization of the zoo, we will continue to delegitimize the zoo as much as we can, and it will intensify. The only thing you have to do today is to participate the best way you can, Support financially. Financial support is very, very important. There is no way you can defend Biafran territory with empty hands. It requires finance. It requires finance to get the instrument that the Biafran Liberation Army needs to defend the land. And by the special grace of Chukwu, we shall defend the land. May Chukwu continue to guide and protect every single one of us that has participated in this program. May Chukwu guide and protect the Liberation Army, the resistance fighters, the Black Marine, guide and protect every forces that are fighting for Biafra. May Chukwu guide and protect the de facto government in the homeland. May Chukwu guide and protect Biafra government cabinet. Every member of that cabinet, may they be protected. May Chukwu guide and protect all our media warriors and their families that are speaking daily and all our presenters. May Chukwu guide and protect our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. May Chukwu guide and protect him, secure him, give him more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, strengthen him. No weapon of the enemy will have effect on him. Whatever they plan against him, they will always fail. Every plan they make against him, every strategy they draw against him, whatever they throw at him, it will never stand. It will never ever stand. My fellow Biafrans, I appreciate every one of you that has participated in one way or the other to see to the success of the message of today. And I pray that Chukwu come and be with us. I pray for Mazen Nandekano, the supreme leader of IPOB. We pray for good health for him. We pray for wisdom. We pray for strength. We pray for healing. No evil shall befall him. He shall regain his freedom and he will join us again very soon. Thank you so much for being part of this program. I appreciate every one of you that have participated in one way or the other. May Chukwu Kagabia continue to guide and protect us. I will see you again tomorrow by the grace of Chukwu Kagabia. Biafra government, peace, unity, progress, and equity, freedom or die.
The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. Finally, the zoo has fallen. If you do not know that the zoo has fallen, check around yourself. Check around you.